Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Army Aviation Regiment flies maritime patrols over northeastern Luzon. AFP monitors increased Chinese vessel activity near Ayungin Shoal. Rains to prevail across the country. DA chief urges lawmakers to support rice tariffication amendments.
A rainy noon to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Friday, August 22, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay here to bring you today's story.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Philippine Army's Aviation Regiment conducted maritime air patrol missions over northeastern Luzon's coastal waters from August 16 to 19, 2025. Using a Cessna 172L, the Special Mission Aviation Company monitored Aurora, Isabela, Cagayan, the Calayan Islands, and the Philippine Rise. The patrols aim to boost maritime domain awareness and strengthen security of the country's maritime frontiers. Philippine Army said MARPAT missions provide critical information for decision-making and national defense operations.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines reported an increased presence of Chinese vessels near Ayungin Shoal last August 2025. 5 China Coast Guard ships, backed by 11 fast boats and 9 maritime militia vessels, were observed conducting drills, including water cannon maneuvers. Some fast boats were upgraded with mounted heavy weapons, while aerial assets such as a helicopter and unmanned aerial vehicle were also deployed. The AFP said its maritime domain awareness efforts remain focused on safeguarding the Philippine sovereignty and protecting the troops in the West Philippine Sea.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more updates from Shah about 64th IB holds TI&E to strengthen discipline, professionalism of troops.
Yes, Rofh. The 64th Infantry Knights Battalion conducted its regular troops information and education sessions in Bayang Llano del Sur. Officers and enlisted personnel joined the activity during visits to the line companies. Discussions centered on preventing ESPA-related cases, including online gambling, drug use, and improper social media posts in uniforms, while also highlighting moral programs and NCO empowerment. The Knights Troopers reaffirms their commitment to discipline, unity, and responsibility in carrying out their mission. This is Shane Araneta reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Shah.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Two families in Sulu ended a long-standing rido through an amicable settlement and the signing of a peace covenant at the Panglima Estino Municipal Hall. The feud of families of Padhid Yusuf Uwadullah and Rasmin Asara, rooted in 2 fatal shootings last 2024 and 2025, threatened local peace and stability before reconciliation was achieved. The ceremony was witnessed by local leaders and security officials led by Brigadier General Alaric Avelino de los Santos of the 1102nd Infantry Brigade, who praised both families for choosing peace over revenge. The Philippine Army vowed continued support to protect the covenant, calling it a milestone for lasting peace in Sulu.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Negros Occidental Provincial Government released 1.45 million pesos in financial assistance and insurance benefits to former rebels, barangay officials, tanods, and health workers during a ceremony at the provincial capital social hall in Bacolod City. Governor Eugenio Jose Lacson, together with 303rd Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Ted Dumosmog, and Provincial Planning and Development Office Head Ana Marie Benja Locasan, led the awarding to 44 beneficiaries, including 25 former rebels. The ex-rebels received 390,000 pesos in transportation allowances, while families of 19 deceased barangay officials, tanods, and health workers received a total of 1.06 million pesos in insurance claims. Brigadier General Dumosmog praised the provincial government for sustaining support to former rebels reintegrating into society.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our report on the ground, let us hear the report of Jai about 15th CMO Battalion leads youth educational tour in Sulu.
Yes, Rofh, the 15th Civil Military Operations Battalion facilitated an educational tour for about 40 students at Camp Budatu in Danan, Sulu. The activity featured lectures on youth roles in nation building, preventing violent extremism, and awareness on the West Philippine Sea dubbed Mulat WPS. The initiative formed part of the Linggo ng Kabataan 2025 celebration with the theme Local Youth Actions for SDGs and Beyond. The battalion emphasized education, peace promotion, and youth empowerment as key to sustainable development. This is Jai reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jai.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
A joint law enforcement and security operation in Sitio Papa Barangay Angilan, Omar Solo yesterday led to the voluntary surrender of high-powered firearms and explosives. Troops from the 101st Infantry Battalion with the Omar Municipal Police Station collected M16 rifle, 7 magazines, 124 live rounds, and 2 rifle grenades. The surrendered items were turned over to police for documentation and safekeeping. Major General Leonardo Peña, the commander of the 11th Infantry Division, commended the cooperation of security forces, residents, and local leaders in promoting voluntary disarmament and community security.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, a huge part of the country will continue to experience rains caused by a tropical depression Isang and the southwest monsoon or Habagat. Pag-asa said the low-pressure area inside the Philippine Area of Responsibility has developed into a tropical depression as of Friday 8 a.m. Scattered rains and thunderstorms are forecasted across Metro Manila, Ilocos Region, Cordillera Administrative Region, the Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Laguna, Quezon, and also Rizal, Camarines Norte, and Camarines Sur. Meanwhile, the same weather conditions will prevail over the rest of Luzon, Western Visayas, Negros Island Region, Zamboanga Peninsula, Barm, Soc-Sargen, Llano del Norte, and Misamis Occidental due to Habagat.
Armed Forces Radio.
Another information from CAS about Philippine Air Force Unilab hold health program for airmen in Pasay City.
Yes, Rofh, good noon. The Philippine Air Force, through the Office of the Chief Surgeon Air Force, joined Unilab's Bayanihan sa Kalusugan, Alaga sa Manggagawa program at the PAF Multipurpose Gymnasium in Pasay City. More than 100 PAF personnel received free medical services, including physical exams, blood tests, bone density checks, urinalysis, and chest x-rays. The events also featured a lecture on disease prevention and management. The collaboration emphasized the commitment of PAF and Unilab to keep airmen healthy, resilient, and mission-ready. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Kath.
DWDD National News.
Local disaster councils were ordered to carry out preemptive evacuations of residents in several areas of Ginubatan, Albay. The order came amid expected rains brought by tropical depression and the southwest monsoon or Habagat. Albay Governor Noel Rosal instructed the evacuation of residents in Purox 4, 5, 6, and 8 of Barangay Masarawag today. Masarawag is one of the villages located near the foot of Mayon volcano and is thus prone to lahar and floods. Face-to-face classes in all levels, both public and private schools, are suspended with a shift to alternative learning modalities.
DWDD National News.
Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. has urged the lawmakers to support amendments to the rice tariffication law. Chu Laurel told the Committee on Agriculture of the House of Representatives that the RTL, which liberalized rice imports, had stripped the National Food Authority of the ability to regulate supply, establish prices, or intervene in times of crisis. He also added that this left farmers vulnerable to market forces. The DA chief emphasized that rice is more than just a staple, as it fuels the workforce, sustains families, and symbolizes food security for over 112 million Filipinos.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Shira. 56th IB over 31,000 visitors join AMNEX 2025 Open Ship in Malaysia.
Yes, good afternoon. A total of 31,899 visitors flocked to the Suzon-Abay Pier Cruise Terminal for the AMNEX 2025 Open Ship event. Guests toured ASEAN naval vessels, met sailors and officers, and enjoyed cultural exchanges on board. The BRP Antonio Luna FF151 showcased Filipino hospitality with cultural shows, delicacies, and performance from the Luna Band and Jazz Ensemble. Philippine Navy officers also joined the OPSO discussion and Naval Engineering Conference and reinforced unity, friendship, and cooperation among ASEAN navies. This is Shire Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Shaira.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, Senator Francis Pangilinan urged the Malacanang to immediately issue an executive order setting a floor price for palay purchases by national government agencies and local government units. The senator made the proposal in line with the implementation of the Sagip-Saka Act, which he authored and signed into law last 2019. Pangilinan said the EO must be in place in time for the September to December harvest season, when farmers are most vulnerable to depressed farm gate prices. He said that the EO would assure farmers that their harvest will be bought at a fair and just price, especially at a time when production costs are surging and farm gate prices remain unstable.
DWDD National News.
The Commission on Elections has suspended the printing of ballots for the first Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao parliamentary elections in October. The suspension followed the approval by the Barm Parliament of a bill redistributing the 7 district seats originally allotted to the province of Sulu. The COMELEC said the printing of the 2.2 million ballots was supposed to start yesterday, August 21. COMELEC Chairperson George Erwin Garcia explained the suspension would give them the chance to study the impact of the approved bill.
Armed Forces Radio.
And on the other line is to hear more from Gio about 17th IB Rotary Club hold outreach for former rebels in Cagayan. Go Gio.
The 17th Infantry Battalion, in partnership with the Rotary Club of Makati Circle of Friends, conducted an outreach activity in Santa Maria Gataran, Cagayan to support peace building and community development. A total of 350 beneficiaries, including people's organizations and former rebels, under the Sambayan Cagayan Valley Agriculture Cooperative, received groceries, rice, vitamins, school supplies, toys, and Red Cross membership. 17th IB Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Ford Alciao thanked Rotary Club of Makati Circle of Friends and partners for extending livelihood support that fosters reintegration and optimism. The event highlighted the strong partnership between the Philippine Army and civilian groups in promoting peace and reconciliation in conflict-affected communities. This is Gio reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Gio.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, with the support of the Korea International Cooperation Agency and UNICEF, launched the first Bangsamoro Disaster Response Plan. The BDRP will prioritize the safety and well-being of the Bangsamoro people, many of whom are facing risks posed by climate change. The launch came a day after the observance of World Humanitarian Day. It highlighted the urgency of building resilience in a region frequently hit by calamities such as floods, landslides, and typhoons.
DWDD National News.
Senate President Francis Escudero has introduced a bill which seeks to abolish the community tax certificate, also known as the cedula. Escudero said the use and relevance of the community tax have drastically diminished in contemporary society. He stressed the need to do away with the cedula as a primary form of identification in official government transactions. With growing reliance on modern identification methods such as passports and tax identification numbers, the significance of the community tax has further waned, leading to a perception of its payment as almost voluntary.
Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let's hear some information from Joanne about Aguila troops engage CTG remnants in Dingalan, war material seized.
While conducting security operations on 21 August 2025, government troops under the operational control of the 703rd Infantry Aguila Brigade engaged in an armed encounter with around 10 remnants of the dismantled Comiteng Region Gitnang Luzon of the communist terrorist group in the vicinity of Barangay Ibona, Dingalan, Aurora. The engagement was made possible through timely and reliable information from a concerned citizen whose vigilance and cooperation enabled the swift action of government forces. This underscores the vital role of community support in the success of security operations and in further weakening the remaining CTG presence in the area. The firefight lasted for about 10 minutes with no casualties reported on the government side, while enemy losses remain undetermined. During clearing operations, troops recovered the following war material: 4 unopened backpacks, 2 bandoliers with 2 5.56mm magazines, 5 7.62mm magazine, 1 hand grenade, 1 commercial radio, and 1 flashlight. Brigadier General Eugenio Julio C. Ocios IV, commander of the 703rd Infantry Aguila Brigade, commended the troops for their courage and decisive action in protecting communities. He also urged the remaining rebels to choose the path of peace and return to the folds of the law while they still have the chance. He also called on the local chief executives to continue working hand in hand with the army and other security forces in eradicating the CTG and in sustaining peace and development in their respective communities. This is John Sagak reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Juan from NOLCOM.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, Education Secretary Sonny Angara has urged the Public Works Secretary Manuel Bonoan to address the infrastructure needs of schools. The appeal came after a viral video showed students in a remote Nueva Vizcaya village clinging to steel cables to cross a river and reach their school. In a letter, Angara told Bonoan that their story is a stark reminder of the broader infrastructure challenges that continue to affect our public school system. He added that they hope that their agencies can continue collaborating when it comes to urgent infrastructure needs in our schools, especially in disaster-prone or geographically isolated areas.
DWDD National News.
And some lawmakers in the Senate vowed to increase the budget of the Department of Tourism to promote the Philippines as a tourist destination to foreign markets. Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco said the DOT currently operates on a budget of 100 million pesos for its branding and promotions programs for 2025, lower than the 200 million in 2024. Senate Tourism Committee Chairperson Senator J.V. Ejercito said the 100 million budget for DOT's promotions programs would put the Philippines at the losing end amid the supposed competition with neighboring countries in Southeast Asia. For his part, Senator Rodante Marcoleta said that if the country would be unable to promote the tourism sector, the Filipinos would lose out.
Forces Radio.
Let us hear more from Meljoy of First Year G about RASCOM Philippine Army and partner stakeholders conduct bloodletting activity in Kalinga. Go ahead, Meljoy.
Yes, Rofh, the Office of the Provincial Health Officer marks the National Blood Donors Month celebration with a bloodletting activity that yielded 270 blood bags at the Kalinga State University. The event also coincided with the celebration of the 42nd anniversary of the Army Reserve Command Philippine Army with the Reserve Officer Training Corps cadets, personnel of the 1405th Kalinga Ready Reserve, 1405th Community Defense Center, 503rd Brigade, 103rd Infantry Battalion, 5th Infantry Division Philippine Army, Kalinga Provincial Police Office, and civilian volunteers as donors. The activity was conducted in partnership with One Kalinga Blood, City Health Services Office, Pasel Rural Health Unit Blood Collection Unit, Kalinga State University, Philippine Association of Medical Technologists Incorporated Kalinga, and Congresswoman Carol Aguiao. This successful turnout reflects the enduring spirit of volunteerism in saving lives by strengthening the country's blood supply. This is Meljo National Arauco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of First CRG.
DWDD National News.
The Bureau of Corrections said that heart attack is now the leading cause of death among persons deprived of liberty. This has surpassed tuberculosis, which has long been regarded as a significant health threat in crowded prison settings. Based on Bucor data from 2022 to 2025, there were 445 deaths from heart attacks as compared to only 59 from pulmonary tuberculosis. Bucor Health and Welfare Services Chief Superintendent Maria Cecilia Villanueva said that while TB remains a significant health concern across all operating prison and penal farms due to factors such as overcrowding and poor ventilation, current data shows that other respiratory illnesses such as pneumonia and acute respiratory failure are now more prevalent causes of mortality.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, the DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again next week for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Community News, One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.